Well, here we are, the final week of Pride. Well, I'd like to say it's been fun, but with some of the dark information I've uncovered, as well as the controversies on our other social media pages, it's been enlightening, strengthening, and validating. I've got one more character to talk about today, and his might be a little surprising. Here it goes. I release a new project every week, Thursdays at 3 Pacific. I need you to like, subscribe, and ring my bell so you can see everything we've got to offer. And leave a comment. We welcome the respectful feedback and look forward to interacting with the community. This time, I want to talk about a broader subject that every queer person goes through, and that's the questioning stage. It's part of what the Q means in LGBTQ. Queer, or questioning. It means that even if you're not sure, even if you don't want a label like gay, lesbian, trans, non-binary, you can still just be queer. It foretells a string of other identities from asexual, agender, and aromantic, two-spirit, intersex, and many more. That's why there's a plus after the Q. It means the Q is bringing everyone else with it. Because queer people spend a lot of time questioning themselves, society, biology, and metaphysical concepts like where we fit in a religious context. I don't want to talk about a lot of religion on my channel because we mainly focus on that as a tool with which to tell stories, because I think that's all it was ever meant to be. And with 37% of adults in the US recalling traumatic events centered around religion, it's easy to see how spirituality has been weaponized on queer folks and a lot of people all across the country. So I understand that, well, let's call it God talk, can be triggering. But we've discussed in other videos how certain gods from other religions have varying gender identities and sexual desires. Loki is gender fluid, Artemis was a lesbian, and even Horus and Set in Egyptian mythology had strong homosexual context in their stories. A large number of voodoo deities, called Iwa, exist in both Haitian and Louisiana voodoo, and one such example is the Gidanivo, who sometimes appears as a drag queen and inspires transgender and lesbian women. Shinto has Ama and Shinu no Hafuri, who served the primordial goddess Amaterasu. And now that's the side of Okami we didn't get to see. So obviously queerness is everywhere, right? It's a normal, everyday thing that's existed long before people knew how to explain it, which is why they let the stories of gods do it for them. So that's what our story's about too, an explanation for how we look at life. And through these eyes, well, we've got the main character himself, the hero of our tale. It's Martin, although he doesn't quite understand himself yet. Much like most people in life when they're young and trying to discover what makes them happy and who they are. But it's the lack of or the obfuscation of queer identities that ultimately leads to more harm than good. People who are refused guidance in their queerness often grow up closeted, and that means they try to hide or cover up some of the more confusing feelings they have and try to exhibit what they see everyone else doing regardless of whether it feels natural. This could be due to social stigma too. If they feel they might lose friends, respect, a job, or loved ones for revealing a queer identity, they may remain hidden for years. So, this is where I'm going to break character and speak to you not as Agni, but as Angel, the one who writes these scripts. And I have a personal story for you this week. Now, I knew I was a girl when I was 6. It didn't matter to me what my body looked like. I felt more represented by the princess of the story than the prince or the hero. As time went on, I latched to other forms of female representation, playing strictly as Blaze in Streets of Rage or Sonya in Mortal Kombat. In this way, I could see myself in the girl role during a game. It helped me feel better for a while. At 10, I tried my mother's makeup, but she was not happy. 12 was when I tried on my first dress. I didn't do it at home because I knew it wouldn't be acceptable. So instead I did it alone and away from the house. I'd find something cheap at a thrift store that I bought with my allowance. These feelings persisted for years. By 14, I was a girl online. Not catfishing. I never catfished anyone. I made it explicitly clear I wasn't interested in relationships because I was a lesbian. For a long time, that worked. Chat rooms, messengers, tabletop role-playing, and video games, with main character women like Resident Evil 3 and Tomb Raider. My interests evolved. I even had Barbie dolls alongside my G.I. Joes. Everything changed for me when I was 17. This was sometime in 2002, and I was randomly watching MTV or VH1. For anyone out there who's young, they were mostly known for playing music, but every once in a while they'd have things like documentaries or series like Undressed. Now that show opened up some doors, let me tell you. But it was a particular documentary that I can't remember the name of. But it was told the tale of a trans girl who was 19 years old taking HRT to prepare for surgery. This was a goldmine of information for me. I was glued to the screen for every second, and when I saw my dad next, I came out to him. In a way, it was very subtle. His response was lukewarm at best. He made it clear he didn't understand it, wouldn't have a part of it, but that I was free to make my own decisions once I turned 18. So, again, I didn't have any guidance. I was left to find out the answers for myself. You know, when you're not a trans kid, you have questions about life, your parents are supposed to be your guide. If our parents don't try to guide us at 5, 12, 17, what are we really left with? Well, that was it. I was out. It kind of flopped. It was bittersweet, but it could have been a lot worse. It's not like he disowned me or anything. The closet can be a scary place. You feel guarded or on edge, afraid to let people see some of your queer traits to remain free of judgment and prejudice. So it becomes important if a friend tries coming out to you to try and listen and be sympathetic. There's no doubt this is a very scary and difficult moment for them. And they put their trust in you above all others. You want to know how my story ends? Well, here I am doing these videos. I'm 38. I'm still persistent in myself. And I hope this story and the ones we tell through Tales of Atonement help at least a little in educating as well as entertain. And so by now, you're at, so what is going on in Martin's head? What does it all mean? So, before I answer that question, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, and ring my bell. That'll ensure me that, first of all, you've watched this video so far, and you've liked the content you've seen. Did you do it? Great. Well, then let me get to the answer. Martin's sexuality and gender identity are wrapped up in an enigma that will unfold with him as the character grows, being both omnisexual and gender fluid. His partner's gender and sex don't really factor into his decision-making process in determining how he feels about them, and he doesn't really put forth a lot of constant effort into being manly or effeminate. He is who he is, day after day, and leaves those perceptions to people outside of himself. That's really what we all want, isn't it? Just to be ourselves, be trans or cis, gay or straight, to love who we love and be who we are. Not what society forces or mandates us to be. It's consent to be ourselves. Love in who we are and who we have around us. Being secure in our identity, no matter what it is. That's what pride really means. Happy Pride till next year, whether you're gay, an ally, or queer. Well, that is that. Now you know a little bit more about the creators of this channel, as well as our main hero. With the unique way we write, by sharing the story back and forth, Martin has served as a means for me to discover things about myself for as long as I can remember. I was still a teenager when I started writing this story over 20 years ago. And there are other characters we use that have existed even longer. That's why this is such an important part of our lives, and why we hope these stories succeed. It's been a labor of love for a long time. So thanks so much for coming back every week. Like, subscribe, and ring my bell for the next project. Although, I think the next couple are just going to be some chill music. I need to recoup after how heavy Pride got. So, because of that heavy workload, look for Monolith Episode 2, Catch and Kiss, coming in July. Gosh, maybe it's about time I hire a video editor.
Your support helps us greatly in getting these projects and episodes out to you faster, so please consider visiting the Patreon link included in the description and check out the tiers we have to offer. Starting at just $1 a month, those at the $10 tier can gain access to a new page of the Monomyth comic book every week. The $50 Keeper tier gets access to the raw scripts so you can read the story way ahead of time, should you prefer the sort of novel format to the story. For now, let's me give a big thanks to our current patrons. Shadow Fox, Arya Gamari, Charles Tam, Jace Marlowe, Lunder Lumen.
Thanks, Kamabogbog on Fiverr, for putting in so much hard work with us during this adventure. Their link is down in the description. You guys, go and commission something from them for only $5. The quality you can expect is right here in the video you just watched.